Hello there and welcome to Concept Hunter. My name is KOKOStern and today we have Ludum Dare 28 to talk about. In case you don't know what Ludum Dare is, it is a global game jam where there is a central theme and developers from all over the world have 48 hours to develop a game around that theme. And Ludum Dare 28's theme is you only get one. Now, there's a ton of games, and I am obviously one person and I can't go through all of them. But I can go through a decent amount, and I have chosen two games that I really liked that I want to showcase today. These are two games that I see a lot of potential in, and that was really the central thing. That was, I want to see the most potential if you have a lot more time to develop it, where you can go forward with that type of game. And I got two for you, okay? So you only get two. And in this case, we're going to start off with Shine. So let's press play here, and we can see that it is by Adventure Islands. Come on. Shine! And it's just credits and start. Remember, 48 hours, so it's not, there isn't too much here. But what we're talking about mostly is the concept, is the mechanics, and how we can go forward with this kind of concept. So, how to play. Control Lucia with arrow keys or WASD. Press down in front of doors to enter them, which means pass on to the next level. Control orb with the mouse. Be careful as it explodes if it hits walls, platforms, or goes off screen. Let's start. Now, once upon a time in the kingdom of Solaris, there was a giant holy lighthouse watching over the land, shining its protecting light and bringing peace and prosperity to the kingdom. One fateful day, however, the light disappeared for reasons unknown, and the kingdom was plunged into eternal darkness. All hope was not lost, however. One day a talented young wizard called Lucia arrived and used all her power to create a holy orb of light that could reignite the lighthouse. The orb was very powerful, but also unstable. The slightest bump could cause the orb to explode. There's no second chance. Can Lucia deliver the orb safely and end the Age of Darkness? So we get started. I muted the music because it's kind of loud, but it's nice. I mean, it's okay. I don't hate it. It's just that I decided to silence it. In any case, this is Lucia, and she moves around. Okay? You move around WASD, very standard stuff. You don't have double jump, basic platforming. Now this is the orb, which is my only light source, and as you can see, I can actually have Lucia just keep on going, but if the orb reaches the edge of the screen, it does explode. Okay? If the orb hits anything, it does explode. I control the orb with the mouse, and this is the main thing that I have to actually discuss in this game. I don't know if it's a complaint, but it's something that I'm trying to think about, is different ways to control the orb. Now, if I don't touch it, then it stays where it is, and I can move around whichever way I want. And this kind of gives you the move a little bit, move Lucia, move a little bit, the orb, move Lucia, orb, Lucia, orb, Lucia. But you can move both of them at the same time if you hold down the mouse. Now, if I do hold down the mouse, but I don't move it, I just hold it down, the orb will go along the screen. It'll stay in the same position on screen as I move around. And this could definitely cause a little bit of issues. I'm unsure, and you kind of have to try it out. You kind of have to playtest, and you cannot playtest in a 48-hour game. You kind of have to playtest and see if it's best, even if I'm pressing the mouse button and holding the orb, to still have it not move and only move when I actually move it with my mouse. It's something you have to playtest, and I can't tell you what'll be better. I think it might be better because sometimes it kind of, I'm just moving it and oops, it almost crashed. And that would be really unfortunate. So you gotta playtest and check it out, but outside of that, it works. For what it does right now, it definitely works. Now, that's pretty much the only complaint I have. I really like this. I think the concept is definitely cool. It could work tremendously well. You obviously have a little bit of the basic tropes. Now we have spikes. Later on we'll have, I think, a little bit of crumbling. I think it's in the next level. I'll try and show you. It's in the next level where you have crumbling blocks. So you can only stand in there for a while, and then you can move the orb here. And then you just keep on going, basically. Later on you have moving platforms, and there's more to the game in terms of basic platforming progression, but you have to control the orb and you have to control Lucia separately. One thing that I have to say, this could totally work Okay, this could totally work as a co-op game, right? This could work with one player controlling Lucia and the other controlling the orb. It can still work as a single player experience, but damn can it work as a co-op. And I am a huge sucker for co-op. So please consider maybe just having it, you know, as an option, having the option of that, okay? I'm gonna put up the music a little bit because it is nice music. So we'll have it just a little bit. It could totally work as co-op. Okay, you know what? It's too loud. It could totally work as co-op. And it could totally work as single player. Have the option, okay? Have the option of having someone else jump in and play it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can move forward. I really, really want to see more. Okay, it's a very short game. I'm at level 3 or 4, I don't even know. But you go forward and it ends. And I was sad because it's so great and it could work so much. And in terms of difficulty, which is one of the most important things for me in terms of platformers, it gets pretty damn hard, especially the last level where you have something that chases you. Basic trope of platformers, something that chases you and you have to keep on moving. And you have to control both the orb as well as Lucia. It gets pretty damn difficult. I love it. I really love it. I'm really, really enjoying Shine, and I think that you should make more. I want to see more, okay? So huge props up. The graphics are great. There's music. It's nice. It's just a little bit loud, so I muted it. Shine gets a huge thumbs up for me. Adventure Island Gaze, good job. Really, really good job. Now, the next game that I actually want to show you here, if I get the freaking overlay nice and even put down the lights. This one is called Orbitalis. And I played it through because in one sitting, I just played it, and it was just fun, and I didn't notice the time flow by. It doesn't do anything extraordinary that we haven't seen before. It's pretty much, you can hear it from the name, Orbitalis. It's orbit and gravity. But it does so very well, and I really enjoyed it, and I think you have room to progress further. So it actually kept my previous, I think it kept me the previous save that I had, instead of starting me over from the start, which is fine. Basically what you do is try and stay in the system. This is a star system, and I'm this tiny little speck here, red speck. The further away I am from it, as I click the mouse, the stronger it'll be, the stronger my launch will be, and obviously I can control the direction and see a little bit of the direction that I'm going to go at. I'm supposed to stay in the system, not get out of the system, and not crash into anything for a certain amount of time. So I'll just click and you can see the going around as it tries to finish the time, but I actually left the screen, and because I left the screen, it ended. Okay, I didn't pass the level and I have to try again. And you could just keep on trying. This time I crashed into one of the white areas, the planets or whatever. And this is pretty much the game. What you're seeing here is the blunt of what the game has to offer. At the bottom there's just the name of the system, which is cute. It doesn't really matter or mean anything to me. But this is the blunt of the game. Now, this is enough. For a long time, this is enough because you have different settings, and it's just enough to just play through it. It's interesting, and it's differentiating enough in each level that it's enough. But there is a little bit of progression later on where you have blue stars, or blue rectangles at least, that actually push you away. The white ones obviously lure you in, bring you in gravity, and the blue ones push you out. That's kind of nice. That's great progression that you get to see, but that's the only progression that I got to see. Now, I cannot complain, and I'm not taking this as a detriment to this game because it is wonderful. It does what it sets out to do, and it does have some sort of progression. It doesn't feel old. I did play it through the entirety, and there are a lot of levels through the entirety of the game, and there are really a good amount of levels here. But I'm trying to think forward, and I'd like to see more mechanics. I'd like to see more things that affect how you move, and maybe even different movement patterns. Once you finish world number 1, you get to move in a little bit of a different way or determine your movement. Now, this can definitely work for tablets and stuff like that, smartphones and whatever. And it's a lot of fun, and it's really great. I love the graphics and the aesthetic, the little bit of sounds that you get that's kind of, out there and out in space, and you are out in space. It's an orbit around a planet. So I really enjoyed it. I really like the fact that it's very simplistic, and even though You know, I don't really know how much time I need, but it pretty much tells me I think I'm gonna be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Made it through this level, and I can move forward to the next one. As we see it just move on and on and on and on, and eventually it will crash. Boom. So it does crash, but I made it through enough time, and that's what's important here. So we get a little bit of, let's see if we can do the figure 8, but no, it'll actually crash. Oh, it didn't crash immediately, but it crashed a little bit later. So we kind of have to do it. It needs to go around, but not, needs to be perfect. I think I got it. You can see that it kind of creates the figure 8 as it orbits around both of them. The question is enough time, or is it going to crash? No, it moves through. Had a little bit of a glitch. You can see that it even, instead of being, you know, nice and spherical, we got a little bit of a straight line at some point because it was very close to the source. This is obviously restrictions from the engine and the way that you move around, and a little bit of how you program the game. I can't ask for too much. For the most part, it works very, very nicely. Obviously, it's a 48-hour game, so you can't expect too much. I'm actually interested in seeing what happens if I never click and actually leave the system. I'm assuming I'll lose the game, but let's see what happens if you've thought about these very end cases that usually never happen. Do I just leave the system, or what happens? Nothing happens. We just keep on going forever and ever, and it'll actually rotate. I'm assuming it'll rotate fully. And yeah, it immediately ends if I start it out because I'm actually outside of the system, and here it is going to crash. I'm not going to try anymore, and that's going to be the end for me. We're pretty much done. Orbitalis is by Alan Zucconi for Ludum Dare 28. A really lovely game. I'd love to see more. I'd love to see more levels and a little bit more mechanics thrown into this. And that's it. That's it. That's all I'm going to do for Ludum Dare. There's so many games. There's so many games I can't even wrap my head around how many games there are. These are two that I really enjoyed. Shine by Adventure Islands and Orbitalis by Alan Zucconi. I really enjoyed them. You should check them out and let me know what you think yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.